everybody. I'm Cindy with the Grace and Strength Lifestyle, and I am here with Miss Stephanie Jensen from Phoenix, Arizona. Stephanie and I have known each other for over a decade now, and I just wanted to bring her on and have her share her heart as both a client and now a coach. And so welcome, Stephanie. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Give me just a little bit background about when you started and why you started and so on.
It's been several years since I've started Grace and Strength, and I started because I was in desperate need of change, and I knew that it was going to take doing something radical that would really help me to change my life. And radical for people has different meanings, but for me it was changing the way that I was going into a new direction. And what this really helped me do is do exactly that, change that direction and really start something new. So it's been 4 years, I believe, since I started, and it's something that it's just a part of my life, and it's become who I am and how I live my life.
That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Can you share we want to share with what our why is, and I know that most people are like, what is a why? And really what that is just to share that with everybody before you share yours. But it's really what is the driving purpose for you to want to make the change, and then what we do say to our clients too is it really has to hold up in front of temptation, whatever that means for you. So if you would share what your why was at that time.
Absolutely. And you know what? That why still remains why I continue on doing it. I was actually suffering from a herniated disc at the time, and I was very overweight. I was very unhealthy, and I was a busy wife, mom, a pastor, life coach, mentor, all of that stuff. And I was just exhausted in my life. I was exhausted physically. I was exhausted emotionally. And I knew that if I didn't do something different, I wouldn't be able to accomplish everything that God has purposed for me to do in my life. And I just remember praying, God, there's got to be something that I can do that's going to help me do everything that you've purposed me to do. And I just remember God saying to me one day, you only get one go. This is it. And this is the vessel that you get to do it in. And if you're not going to take care of that, how are you ever going to be able to take care of anybody else? And I remember just as clear as day, just thinking, wow, that's pretty intense. And it was at that moment that I said, okay, I need to do whatever it is I can do my part to become all that I can be, and so that I can do all that I can do, and I can do it healthy. For me, my why was my children. It was my husband. It was the people that I get to spend my life on, and I couldn't do that the way that I was going. And so it was for me, God, you know what, if you're going to allow me to speak into the lives of my husband, my children, and other people, I want to be able to be the best me that I can. And I want to be able to exhaust my life for other people until the day that I die. And I want to be healthy doing that. And so that's what drove me. I want to live to the full capacity of my purpose. And I want to do it in a way where I'm strong and I'm healthy physically, emotionally. And so that's what really drove me. My why was there's a lot to accomplish, and I needed to be healthy, strong, physically, emotionally, spiritually to do that.
That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. And share with me the changes that did happen. I mean, not just your body obviously has transformed, but just all the other areas in your life as you journeyed through the program.
Oh my goodness. So many, every area of my life was impacted because, when you first start out, for me, it was, I just wanted to lose the weight. But once you get into losing the weight, it wasn't just for me, it wasn't physical. It was a lot of emotional weight for me. And I realized getting into it that I had a real unhealthy relationship with food. And I turned to that more than I turned to anything else. And during the process of walking this out, I realized that it wasn't just about my physical weight. It was about my heart. It was about my mind, how I thought about food, how I perceived myself, how, that old quote, you live to eat versus eat to live. And the first thing I woke up and that's what I would think about, food and what's for lunch. And it was the constant in my mind. It was an idol for me. And that shifted during this process because even though it was getting into it to see the scale go down, when the scale started to fall from my eyes and the weight started to physically fall off of me, or mentally rather, uh, that's when real true change started happening in my life and things started to shift.
That's awesome. I love hearing that story. Well, of course, I remember the old you and the new you. They were both beautiful, both beautiful people.
uh,
Absolutely. What do you think today is like? What would be some of the ways that your life has changed today as a result of your new lifestyle?
mm,
I know you covered a little bit about that, but I'm sure there's
yes. You know, more confident. And I think society has really warped what confidence is. And for me, it was confidence from the inside out, knowing that I don't have those barriers. We all have temptation. We all struggle from time to time. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I've arrived in it, but I feel like I have a confidence in who I am, who I'm created to be, and what I'm created to do. And that really helped to define that in my life. And that came a couple years ago, when I started it, and it's continued. And it's not an arrogance, it's not a pride, it's just I know who I am in Christ. I know what I'm created to do. And, even just simple things, shopping. I used to dread shopping and I don't want to go shopping and, forget bathing suits and things like that,
yeah.
which is a stronghold and a barrier for a lot of women. And for me, it's fun now. I enjoy getting to go in with my kids and try stuff on. And it might seem very shallow, but for me, it was a big thing to be able to go in and enjoy it. And so
Oh
there's a lot of freedom that's happened.
gosh, I can absolutely. I know I've been there too, and it's so nice when you're like out of like let's just say the next size where you wouldn't be able to shop in that store, and now you
Oh, yeah.
can. I mean, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
He
Yeah. I remember saying goodbye to one store that I used to shop at. And I remember saying, I just can't wait to never have to shop in that store again. And, it was a really big deal for me to just say bye bye.
Yes, never again, see ya, never. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Steph, what would you say to somebody that is listening, watching, is really on the fence right now of joining Grace and Strength? That they've tried everything, they've done every other diet. Um, what's different? They've seen the Facebook post, they're following us, but they're a little skeptical and maybe it won't work for them. What would you say to them that are right on the fence?
Jump off the fence and burn it down. um, I was the skeptic. I was the yo-yo dieter. I spent my life, I could tell you every diet there is. I've tried it. I've roller coastered my whole entire life. And this works. And the reason why it works is because you've got somebody to walk it with you. And it makes, it really makes a difference having somebody to do it with you. But you know what? The skeptic, there was no bigger skeptic than me. And I think that what I wish that I would have done, I don't live with regrets, but I regret I didn't start sooner. So I would say invest in yourself now. Do it today. Don't wait, because I wish I would have done it 8 or 9 years ago. I wish that I wouldn't have waited. I'm thankful that I was able to do it when I did it. But um, I promise you, you feel like it's too good to be true. But if you look at the stories of the women and the men that have walked through it, I'm a living testimony, years and years of success and walking it out. Don't wait. Take the time, call now and invest, because it's just worth it. It's worth jumping in and starting your future today.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Just love it. You know I love you.
Oh, I love you.
Why, Steph, why did you become um, a coach with Grace and Strength?
Well, I wouldn't have done it anywhere else because like you said, I've known you for a decade. I know, I've known you and Rick. I know that you operate in integrity, and that's a given for me. But what I love about Grace and Strength is that, as I said a moment ago, it's walking alongside of people right where they're at, helping them. And that's for me what I think is the key. When you're able to be a coach and walk somebody along that path when they're at their worst and inspire them and encourage them and coach them and get them where I was to where I am now, there's nothing greater than that. And I think that the difference between you and all the other things that are out there with Grace and Strength is that you have a cheerleader. You've got somebody in your court saying, you know what, you can do this. You get the encouragement, you get the tough love, but you don't go it alone. And that's the big thing.
Absolutely good. I'm sure they heard that. They're receiving that. Definitely. What is the experience of being a coach maybe brought to you or provided for you that was never expected? It was something unexpected that you're like, wow, this is different.
hmm I think the biggest thing is, you go in to help people change. You're coaching them, you're helping them along the way, and I think it's not that I was surprised, but you realize how low people are, or how low they have been, how low everything that they've done, and just the discouragement that they've experienced. And that for me was it's heartbreaking that people get to that place. And when you're walking somebody along this path and you watch them and you hear them, and they're able to cry with you and they're able to share their experiences, and then you're able to watch them begin to change and see those changes begin to happen. Uh, you know, we're blessed as coaches to be able to do this with them. But I think when you watch their success, I was more blessed, I think, by getting to walk alongside of them than I was a blessing to them. And that never ceases to amaze me. As a coach and as a mentor in life, when you are coaching somebody, I truly feel like that blessing that I get from being around you and hearing you, uh, that's what that's what really empowers. That's what inspires me. And I didn't expect that. That's not something that I expected, and that was a big deal for me.
Amen to that. Being still obviously actively coaching myself with the girls and reading the walls. And, for those of you who don't know, we have our clients all have private walls that they communicate with their team on. And, we get to read those stories and the interaction and them praying for each other and sharing life, with the ups and the downs. And it blesses you every day, and I know it keeps me encouraged, it keeps me
Yeah.
inspired. And they don't know, like you said, that I could be having a bad morning and I read one of their victories and I'm like, thank you, Lord, I still know why I'm in this. It's
Yeah.
just like, it is so encouraging from
Absolutely.
our clients. They are such a blessing to us
Yeah.
as well. Here, one, not my last question, my second one, but as you know, I mean, the vision that we have with Grace and Strength is we are now, as of yesterday, in 6 different countries. We added Kuwait, which is, I know, God is so good. I was just like, oh my gosh, how did we do this? It was amazing.
That's
Just an
awesome.
amazing God story that hopefully we can get her on one day and share that. Just because how it was orchestrated could never have been planned. But with that, there's, women all over the world that are, in hope of freedom and
hmm
out there. And there's so many, we get requests almost every day. How do I become a coach? And I'm like, well, because it's what it's going to take is for us to reach all these women, obviously, is a lot more coaches, um, to be able to accommodate
Yeah. Yep.
women and the men on the men's team as well. And so, what would you say to anyone who is considering becoming a certified Grace and Strength lifestyle coach?
hmm I would encourage them to find out anything that they can find out about how to do it. And one of the reasons why I think it's important for people to be a part of this and coaching is because it is global, because there are hundreds of thousands of men and women that are in need of help. And I was just reading, Cindy, about the health and wellness industry, and it's $14.7 billion industry. and by 2017, they're projecting it to be a $1 trillion
Oh,
industry.
gosh.
And so what that says to me is there's a lot of stuff out there and people are confused and try this, try that. This will work, this won't work. When you're a part of Grace and Strength, it's proven. You've got great leadership to back the training. You've got proven methods and ongoing training and assistance and help that's going to help you become the best coach that you can be. And so this is the place that if you have a passion for helping people, you have a passion to walk people through this process and help them. We're not in it for money. That's the thing that I want people to know. We don't do this because we want to be rich. We do it because there's a passion for people and for them to have the freedom that we're able to walk in. If you're interested in being a coach with Grace and Strength, I think it's one of the only places that I would recommend somebody go because, as I said, you get the training, you get the professionalism, and you get to help people all over the world.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. One last question. So, tell me who would be your ideal client?
My ideal client. I think somebody who wasn't like me. No, you know what? Um, I, my ideal client would be somebody who says, you know what, I'm desperate. I'm done playing the games. I'm ready to get serious. I've tried it all. You know what? My ideal client would be the skeptic that says, okay, is this really going to work? Because I know as we walk through it, they're going to go, wow, this really works. I love the people who have exhausted all possibilities and say, all right, you know what, God, I'm done. I'm ready to do the thing that's going to work. And not that it's just going to work now, but it's going to work for the rest of my life because it's not just a diet, it's a lifestyle. And so anybody who is at the place of saying, all right, I'm done with everything else, now let's do the real thing, that's my ideal client.
Awesome, awesome. So if you're that client that she's talking to, I really highly encourage you to click onto our website. It's www.graceandstrengthlifestyle.com and be sure to use the promo code Stephanie on there. So thank you so much, Stephanie. This was awesome. I'm so
Thank
glad that
you.
you got to share your heart and everybody around the world now to hear how awesome you're
Awesome.
doing. Girl, love you. We'll talk soon,
Thank
okay?
you.